Hello, friends. My name is Cendrine. I am an ascension mentor, quantum healer, and trance channel. So, in this video, I will share with you some predictions and insight that have been coming to me about the month of September. If you haven't watched the video on Galactic New Year, I would highly recommend you watch it, as some of the information shared in this video relates to the Galactic New Year video. So in that one, I shared this little graphic that I had been channeling, and a lot more is explained in the Galactic New Year video. But just to quickly summarize what's going on is that we have this bouncing effect of the Earth, right? And at the moment, what we're experiencing is that we're experiencing this drop here. And it can be felt by many of us as things are getting worse than they were, if that's even only possible. You know, like 2020 has been a crazy year already, right? But it's not going to get easier. What's happening is that there is an unveiling of hidden truth that is triggering a lot of people's psyche. And it's not so much that things are getting worse, is that like the iceberg is starting to reveal itself, you know? So everything that is being brought into our awareness is making a thing that reality is worth. But I would like to invite you to consider the fact that actually, no, it's not getting worth. Is that simply the information that we are receiving is shifting our reality. Basically, a lot of us are awakening. And it is important for us to really look into where we are placing our attention. Because in our energetic fields, we can have many leaks of energy and we are not even aware of it. So how can you find out if you have energetic leaks? It's simply by observing where your energy is going, where you are ruminating thoughts, when you are feeling low on energy, when you're feeling sad and frustrated, angry and lost, where are your thoughts going? And this is where the energetic leaks are going. So find out where they're going and then do something about it. Don't allow yourself, don't allow your soul, your human, your energy field, don't allow yourself on multidimensional levels to being sucked into these vortexes of low frequency, because you have all of these energetic leaks that you are not healing, that you are not attending to. So for example, for me, like an energetic leaks could come if I start watching the news or if I start hanging out with people who are really negative, and then I observe I'm getting flustered and annoyed by them and annoyed by the news and all of these people who are so not woke, and you know they're not into any of this and they just buy everything that the mainstream media is feeding them. I observe that it's an energetic leak for me, because then I'm going to start ruminating about it. I'm going to start, oh my God, you know, and I have this, basically all of these little stories starting to happen in my mind as I drive my car, as I wash the dishes, as I do anything, you know. It's like, oh, that's interesting. It's an energetic leak and it comes from there. So now what I'm going to do about that is I'm simply going to meditate and scan my energy field and feel where the energetic leak is, and simply ask my friends in spirit, my galactic team, to please, you know, close this energetic leak because it's not serving me. And then on a 3D level, what I'm going to do is that I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to hang out with these people anymore, and I'm not going to watch the news, because it creates an energetic leak and it's depleting myself of energy. It is taking me outside of my alignment. You know, I'm not soul aligned anymore when I'm constantly ruminating about the news and what people should or should not do and so on and so on. It's just like, I'm not in my sovereignty. I'm judging, I'm analyzing, then I end up procrastinating my work because I'm like, oh, you know, all of these things. So it is not to say that we cannot receive information. Of course, we can receive information, but then let's process that and let it pass. So during the month of September, we are going to really being pushed into observing where our energetic leaks are. It could also be, if you're a single person, around the fact that you are single and you really want to meet someone, you better have soulmate, twin flame, whatever you want to call it, and it is creating a leak because you are longing to have a person, you're not feeling good enough because you don't have somebody by your side. But then when you meet someone amazing, like you don't want to be with that person, you're worried that that person might not be, like aligned to you because you have a lot of self-esteem issue, or like you think, oh, I wish I could be with this kind of person, but they would not possibly be interested in me, and so on and so on. So you start observing where your thoughts are going. And what is coming very strongly is that this month of September is going to heighten all the energetic links that you have within your field, because we are more than ever being asked to really heal ourselves on multidimensional levels to be able to step into a higher reality, a higher identity. And we cannot do that if we constantly linger into low frequencies, because we are not attentive on where our energy is going. So during this month of September, a lot of us, we are going to be reflected. This by our everyday interaction with people and also the work we do. So remember that every single person that we meet is a mirror to our own self. It is a beautiful gift. These people come into our lives. It can be, very close people, but it can be like, stranger that we're just gonna cross for 5 minutes, but we're gonna have an interaction with. So all of these people, they're gonna come into your field, and a lot of them are going to trigger you big time, and you're gonna notice that more than usual. And it doesn't have necessarily to be negative either. It could be that you spend, an hour on the phone with someone you really love so much and you feel so close, but because you have such deep connection, you start activating each other, you start talking about your dreams and your reality and the blocks that you have, and it's kind of a deep conversation between two friends that love each other dearly. But because of this portal at the moment, it's like it's going to really activate in you and your friend everything that is not aligned with you. So, for example, I would have a chat with a really good friend of mine, and then we talk about, some co-creation that we're going to do together called the Trance Temple. It's going to be amazing, right? And we chat, and we absolutely love it, and we can see our vision and we can see everything happening. But then next thing I know is that I'm going to not even think about that as relating to my state of beingness, but 2 days later I have to start purging all of these shadows that are rising in me. I feel so many leaks in my energy field. I'm all over the place. I'm feeling really sad and really frustrated and so on, and all the inner dialogue is actually of me stepping up into a leader, but co-creating with another human being, because in the past I tried many times, it never worked, and it was really, really unpleasant experiences. But this is completely different. It is another level of frequency, and because we are having this really heart-to-heart connection to a powerful co-creation, like I can see everything that is not aligned in me. I can see everything, like the limiting beliefs, the fears, the old identity, the past, everything that other people would say about this when they are not aligned to our offering. And so before, maybe I could have just gone like, oh, whatever. But because there is this portal at the moment, like it's not gonna go anywhere. I basically have to sit with it and really go like, what the hell, like what's going on? Like it's actually massive. It is really shifting me on a level that I was not aware of, or I wouldn't have experienced maybe a year ago. But because many of us, especially if you're watching this video, right? If you're watching this video, most likely you're a light leader, a light worker, already on the path. So especially if you are walking on this path, is that now we have no choice but to step up to a highest identity, really to step up, to be fully aligned with our soul and soul mission. And so during this month of September, again, like observe, because all the triggers that are going to come into your field are there as gift to ask you to really do the work on shifting, not staying in the shadows, not staying small and hiding behind limiting beliefs such as I'm not good enough and I'm not ready, I have to wait for this, I have to wait for that, I have to wait for that. Everything that's going to happen is going to have a really huge effect on your emotions. So like this month, we are really into the 4D bridge. The 4D bridge being, leaving the 3D reality to go towards the 5D reality that we are going to anchor ourselves into. So this 4D month, it's really there to help us understand the process of evolution, of ascension. And when we are in the 4D bridge, it means that we are being asked to really connect to our heart, to our soul, and connect from that place to other people and on a very deep emotional level. So it is not about, like crying on camera and sharing everything that's going within. No. It's a being able to sit, to sit with ourselves, to simply sit with ourselves and then process our emotion, working with the inner child, being our best friend, our own guardian angel, own best friend. So it's like we are being asked to realize that if we want to be leaders, then we also need to be able to hold space for ourselves constantly. Because every time we shift to new level of frequencies, we are kind of in this fractal reflection, we shift into higher level of frequencies. So it means that the opposite fractal reflection will also be triggered so that we can experience that. And then once we have experienced the lower portion of frequencies, like all this healing that needs to happen, and then we anchor ourselves even more into the light. It is not to say either that we have to spend days and days on understanding why and how and when. It is simply being able to observe, being the observer of an experience and allowing everything to flow. So I don't personally revisit every single thing that has happened to me because I work a lot with, upgrading myself, uplifting myself. I work with the light, But when the shadows come and arise, I simply practice presence. I observe what they are. And sometimes I will revisit, inner child, past life, and ancestors' past lines because I know that there is something bigger there. So during the month of September, we are really being invited to experiencing this range of frequencies, this range of emotions, of experiences, but also this range of connection that we have with other human beings, and to choose which one we are going to stay with the most. So I have, like some of you love my drawing skills, check this out. So this, I don't even know what's called in English, but like you have the sand going from, like the top to the bottom. Is that called an hourglass? If you want to leave something in the comment, I would appreciate, because it comes constantly my awareness and I always forget to double check the name of it. Living 12 years in New Zealand still hasn't helped with this vocabulary. Anyway, so it's very much what we are experiencing. So like this is the like 3D reality, kind of the lower part, right? And at the moment we are moving into this, upper reflection here, which is like more of based on 5D reality, and we are experiencing that through this narrow bit, which is a bit of a representation of the 4D bridge that has been coming to me. And so when we are experiencing this 4D bridge, you can see like this, it's narrowing, so it's like we feel it's more intense, we can feel lost, we can feel so triggered, everything that I have mentioned before. But it's simply because what was once kind of, everywhere and we kind of avoid it, it's now being brought into our awareness because, okay, friend, you want to move up, then you're going to have to deal with all of this. And it is happening on an individual level, but also in the collective. It's this really much awareness that we have about everything going crazy in the world and all this new information and this truth, coming out, of the shadows. So it's like, everything becomes more and more close to us, to our awareness. So we can feel during this month of September, we can feel that maybe there is a holding back of energy, a slowing down, that it's harder to put everything into motion, to really find a purpose. If we feel lost, it can be harder to also find clarity and, you know, like this momentum of expansion and download and like, yeah, like the world is mine and on top I feel amazing. Like this month of September might not feel like that to you. It might feel the opposite, like really restrictive. But I would like to invite you to realize that when we feel energies like that, frequencies like that happening, it comes from us, but it also comes from the collective. And when that happens, we are asked to reside in stillness. So I'm just going to draw quickly something here. So some of you become more and more familiar with all the fractal reflection that I channel. So this is part of my brand new online course called Fractal Shift, which is an initiation to quantum self-healing. It's amazing. And so it's channeled from the Arcturians and Andromedan star race. So this is like the foundation of the fractal reflection teachings. And so we come from this lower part here, which is this lower part, and then we move up, right? And here at the center point, this is the center point that we want to anchor ourselves into, because the upper quadrant here is like all the higher frequencies available to us, like joy, gratefulness, enthusiasm, excitement, and so on. And the lower is the opposite, of these, emotions and experiences and frequencies. So when we are being like narrowed like this, then we can feel that we reside more into the lower quadrants. But actually, what we can do to move through these times is to anchor ourselves in the center point of creation, like the center point, oneness, inner peace. And sometimes it is not about trying to find joy and inspiration and creation and this forward movement. If it's not happening and we really want it badly, even though it's not happening, what's going to create is going to create friction. So it kind of create friction here, like we can't be up because we don't allow ourselves to experience this. And this, by the way, is not bad. It's not negative. All of this is us, We are experiencing all of this because we are humans, and it's a beautiful thing. We cannot experience joy and gratefulness and gratitude and excitement and, loving other humans, from this human love. We cannot experience any of that if we haven't been sad, if we haven't felt lost, it's just not possible. So we have to embrace the whole range of frequencies. So when we can reside at the center point here, this is exactly where we want to be at all time. And especially during this month of September, when things are going to go even more crazy, things will feel even more intense. It is simply residing in the center and say, I'm okay right now not to know. I'm okay with the stillness. I'm okay with everything arising in my field. I'm going to practice what Cendrine shared maybe, and like a lot of other people are sharing on this at the moment. It's simply being present with myself as an observer and observing where my energetic leaks are, what my friends are, what my visions are, and being in stillness a little bit, in receptivity, being there for our own self. The center point of the fractal reflection, it's really like the heart portal. It's inner peace. It's saying, like yesterday, for example, I had a very shitty day. Like I hadn't had a day like that in such a long time, and I pretty much cried all day long. I had anger outbursts at my daughters, and all I did during the day, because before what would have happened is like, why is this, why is that, and then I would have kind of put every area of my life into the one basket of this is shitty. But because I've been doing all of this spiritual growth for years now, I haven't done that in a long time. I don't do that anymore. But what I did, it was simply being okay, I'm purging, I'm clearing, and I have zero clue what's going on. I'm feeling completely lost. I'm feeling very sad. I feel like I'm longing to be with my, with my divine union partner who's like not there. And, like I'm longing for all these things. It's not happening. And I think I'm not good enough. And I was just observing everything. I did not even write in my journal because I knew it was just part of this flow. So what I did was, as much as possible, was to anchor myself into the center point of my heart center, breathing from the heart. Also have a drum, and I would drum like that, simply like that, breathing with the drum, because the drum, like, it connects directly to my heart, and I can feel the shift happening like that. So you see, like during the month of September, it's important that you don't put all the misery that you're experiencing or the low frequency or the triggers that you're experiencing into the same basket, but it's kind of being playful with it. And it's not to say either that the month of September is going to be horrible and shitty. No, no, no. It is simply a container for expansion into self-reflection, into self-responsibility. It's very much that. It's that we have to be responsible for our energy field. We have to be responsible for our lives, for the connections we have with other human beings on an everyday level. So another, like, you'll be even more impressed with this one. So if we choose to position ourselves from an upward down perspective and look below at everything that's going wrong or in the past, and be hooked in the past into outdated templates, or like it was better before, or I'll never have that again, or I'm so wounded because of my childhood, like mean people, mean parents, mean society, mean school, and so on. Like, it's kind of, we are actually going like this. See, we are being upside down. So we only look below. So not only are we narrowed like that, squeezed like that, but we only look at everything. And here it's like 3D intensity increasing, right? It's like all of this purging of reality, like everything that's coming up to the surface. So if we only keep looking there, then we're gonna end up kind of falling back into it, and like we can crash big time on our head, boom, and then it can be really triggering, really challenging. So on the opposite, go like this, friend, look above, look up. Be okay to be at the center. Be okay to be a bit triggered. Be okay to be in stillness if not much is moving. Be okay not knowing exactly. But keep looking above, I would like to invite you, and that's coming very strongly during the month of September, to balance this kind of restriction with an expansion in your field by reclaiming daydreaming. A lot of us humans, we have lost the ability to daydream for so many reasons, because maybe you said one day to your mother, oh, I saw a unicorn or an alien in the garden. It's like, ha ha ha, yeah, sure, darling, like completely disregarding it. Of course you saw an alien or a unicorn, for God's sake. You knew what you were seeing. It's just that adults couldn't see it. But you know what I mean? It's like, reclaim this power of daydreaming. So especially when you feel like that, or at all time, actually, yeah. Sometimes I just literally lie down on the bed and I put some nice music and I just look outside the window or stare at the ceiling or have a cuppa and allow my thoughts to wander. And then I observe if I'm going for a dream, for example. I can see myself on a beautiful beach, with my divine union partner, and we are just there looking out at the horizon, creating our next offering because we want to work together, and having all of this in-depth conversation, but also laughing and going a bit crazy, and then rolling in the sand, and then going for a swim, and then making love under the sun, having amazing sex and so on. I go and I start, daydreaming about that, and then we would travel first class and go to my mansion in New Zealand where I would have my house, and I start daydreaming like that, and I can feel my energy this is so nice. But then all of a sudden the dream is being blocked, and the dream is blocked because I need to clear something, because before I might not even have noticed that, but now what's gonna come is how do you think you are to have a man like that in your life? Nobody that you dream about like that would be interested in you. new, and I observed that. I was like, this is very interesting. Why is this thoughts coming to sabotage my beautiful dream? Or like another dream is like, you can't possibly like travel first class and have a mansion and have horses. It's like, who's going to look after the horse while you travel? It's simply not possible. And I observed it all thing, and it's kind of all playful, because then I would talk to myself and I was like, Cendrine, stop sabotaging the dream. We're just dreaming, for God's sake, just let me dream. And I literally talk to myself like that. It's like, okay, let's go crazy and keep on daydreaming. So a lot of the messages that have been coming to me for these upcoming months are around that. It's very much doing the energetic work, because so many of us, we want to be serving others. We want to help humanity in the evolution process, and that's amazing. Let's keep on doing that, But remember that everything starts with you. And then this month of September will be very much about that, about what's about me. What is it in me that I can clear, that I can heal, that I can expand, that I can dream about? And really embrace yourself as your best study project, because you're amazing, like you're fascinating, like you are a spark of the divine. You have had so many lives in so many places, and you have lives in many places right now, not just in this amazing body of yours. But with this month of September, observe the movement, the energetic movement around you. And this is kind of your framework. And instead of being frustrated about it, if nothing moves, or if things move too fast or too slow, it's like, okay, this is kind of the framework I'm working with. And this framework gives me the possibility to be even more there for myself. Okay? So if you like all of these kind of things, it's what I teach a lot in my Fractal Shift online course. And I also have an online course on intuition. So if you want to learn more about connecting with your soul, finding out your soul mission, connecting to your galactic team, and really find out how you can bring your soul mission into this life to help shift humanity, that's the Galactic Intuitive online course. So you can visit my website for that, cendrines.com. Thank you very much for watching. I'm sending you all of my love, and have an amazing month of September, because you are amazing and we were born free, so we can reclaim the power within. Bye.